Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson, and of course with me tonight is Techy Joe, and yes, we are severely late, but it's for a very important reason.
We are.
Joe is in labor.
Do what now?
Well, she's yours.
I am not in labor. You left me for another woman.
At least it wasn't another man.
No, that's what I posted literally on Mountain Bears, is you left me for another woman for the evening. And it would be a problem if she did not have walk on all fours and have a tail.
Yes. I went and done a rescue of a lovely Australian Shepherd. He's very, very scared, so we're going to be taking our time getting her used to everything. But yeah, y'all guys can expect to see some photos and maybe even some videos.
Mm-hmm. She's a very pretty puppy. She's a very sweet puppy.
Mm-hmm.
A very scaredy puppy.
Very scared. Very confused.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, Vlad's being a jughead.
I know. What the heck? Like, he's usually so excited for other dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the first time I've ever seen him be like, no.
Right. So we'll figure that out. So Sharon, how are you, darling? I know we've probably missed most of our regulars, but if we have, we're sorry. Hopefully you'll watch the replay.
Absolutely. Well, I know when I posted, because I also posted in our barista break room, that we'd be running late and why. So I know a couple of people were going to try to stay up and join us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a very exciting week. I mean, our week's starting to pick up.
Yeah, really?
And apparently I'm doing run around missions now.
But you had fun.
I did. I've had multiple escape trips of fun.
We've gotten you out of the house some. It's been great. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh. And Shannon's like, I'm just here because of my work schedule. Hey, we appreciate it. Believe me, we understand him more than me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But no, she is home. She is safe. Now, she apparently was previously living in the underside of a trailer.
Yeah. But apparently has some skills. Like, one, she's very pretty. It looks like at one point she was very well taken care of. So we already know that she apparently fetches, chases water hoses, unfortunately chases cars.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that one's like, stop that. That's a little scary one. But she also is really good with set. And yeah, I mean, she seems so super intelligent. Like, I'm waiting for her to calm down. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So you have your first dog.
I do. We still have to name her. She rejected Emily. She's rejected a few names.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah,
we will take suggestions.
We will. I don't know. I looked at her. I thought she looked like an Emily.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to not. She just kind of looked right through me with that one.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like, I don't know who you're talking to. That ain't me. She worked for Alexandria, though.
She did. We may have to look in the Al's or Allie's or Alexa's. Yeah. Oh, please don't let her name be that. We will have so much confusion in this house.
Uh-huh.
Azira, we could do that.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping for Lucy. I really wasn't. She rejected that because that would complete my, Bram Stoker's tale.
I was trying to figure out where you're going with that. You were so excited on that one, and she was like, nope. Yep. She's very, she's not just going to respond to anything. She's going to take her time and choose a name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Didn't like Constance either.
No. I was throwing spaghetti at a wall at that point.
We didn't try one name, though.
Oh, no, what?
Dafta.
No.
Okay.
No. We're not trying that one.
Okay.
No. I have this weird thing about naming dogs after people that I'm related to. I figure it sends a wrong message.
Not really. You're just wanting the dog to take on the personality of the person.
Well, Well, then there's some names I just, if I ever had to scream that in the middle of the night, would be bad.
Right.
We won't be naming the dog Koga.
No.
No.
I can't scream that one at night.
Just saying. That would be bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll be taking suggestions. If you're watching this later, feel free to drop those in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what she says. Get her little puppy paw of approval.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll be posting pictures once we get her cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's been playing in the dirt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even look like she's a dog used to that.
Yeah. She I don't know. It's I think she's hungry, but she doesn't know what dog food is.
Yeah.
So we'll have to work with that tonight. Once we get Jughead to behave himself. All right. So last Saturday, as y'all guys seen in the vlog yesterday, we went to Beckley's Pride. So tell us about your experience, darling, because I gave mine in the video. They didn't hear yours.
Well, that's true. No, it wasn't a bad day. It was an odd day. It was not quite what I expected. It was very different. It was very different.
Mm-hmm.
As in, one, I'm kind of used to a bigger city based pride.
Mm-hmm.
Such as Raleigh, North Carolina. That's a pretty big pride.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little different. The one lone protester was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Betty White Snickers commercial?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the protester was.
Right.
Was it was so sad. I almost wanted to go over and offer to help.
Right.
I've heard better.
Here's some lines.
Here's some pointers.
Yeah.
You just sound cranky. Someone change your diaper.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but no, it was an interesting event. We ran into some people that we knew.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome because Dottie was there, and that was awesome.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah. Has she posted her vlog yet?
I don't know that she has.
Yeah, because she was filming too, and I always like to get other people's views.
Oh yeah. But no, as far as the event though, I will say an interesting experience from the perspective of I'm so used to the G being a large part of like a pride event in terms of LGBTQ, rest of the alphabet soup.
Right.
This was sort of like intersectionality pride.
Right.
It was very heavily influenced with, trans persons, with people who are people of color. But it felt very awkward. Like,
Yeah.
I sort of felt not unwelcome exactly, but like,
This ain't your event is how I got it.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah, because
Like,
it was a leather pride. The bear flag was in the back 40, and I'm like, the one came before the other.
well, true. I found it interesting from a perspective of I had not contemplated what a pride in that mindset would look like. And it was a really cool event. I would have preferred to have known I was, going as, an ally.
Right.
More than, a member of the community.
Right.
But then again, it's also a new event.
Right.
Because they had one pre-COVID, one during COVID, and this is the first one post-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So they're 3 years old, as I understand it. So yeah. Again, new event. It can sometimes take time.
Right.
But yeah. But I thought you made some really good, points in your video blog. About what your experience was specifically, and I kind of echo that. It was a very different event. Like, it looks like some of the vendors were kind of across the board vendors.
Right.
Like, they kind of could go anywhere.
Right.
Not that their stuff wasn't great. They had great stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, it was kind of, I strangely feel like you could vend anywhere. So again, new event, things, it can take time.
Right.
And again, coming off of, you had one event pre-COVID, one event during COVID, and one event after COVID. I can see how that could work out.
Right.
That, again, you need that nice consistency for vendors to really line up. And this could be one of those kind of glitchy moments where it's a new event, and before you had that, kind of lineup of vendors, unfortunately, life happened.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I look forward and hope that it becomes, a much bigger event and keeps growing and adds new stuff, and that more parts of the community are represented.
Yeah.
And if not, that it was still a good event.
Right.
And I think it was really great for the sections of community that it did represent. And I don't begrudge that. I really don't. Like, I cannot begrudge that.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It was different. It was very different.
Very different in general. But there's been a lot of Pride news. We have a new openly gay representative.
Yes, we did have a Republican representative recently come out.
Yes.
In West Virginia. So that should go interestingly. I also the youngest member of our West Virginia representatives in terms of West Virginia state government. Yeah, he is Putnam County, I believe's representative. Joshua Higginbotham. I keep wanting to mess that up. No. But yeah, So yeah, he came out over the weekend, Pride weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's apparently been delaying that, wanted to finish that conversation with his family, get everyone on the same page and comfortable with that before he did it.
Exactly.
At least that's where he's, what his statement was.
Mhm.
Not necessarily been our worst representative in the state.
Well, no. Porterfield's going to have to really work at it.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who can sink to that level is going to have to really work at it. But no, Putnam County, good job choosing a good man. But we're going to have to watch him carefully because of it's one of those. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, you came out as gay. That's nice.
Right.
Or but you still say you're still Christian. You're still conservative Republican.
Mm-hmm. He has been voting pro-equality.
Right.
So, it's not like the Aaron Chirac situation.
True.
Where you have someone that is voting totally against the community that it turns out they're part of.
Right.
And it's like, okay, what you doing?
Exactly.
Like, this seems a little counterintuitive there.
Exactly.
Pick your battles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I will give him that. Some of his other legislation, it's not horrifically bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other things he's voted for and the other things he's presented aren't necessarily horrifically bad.
Right.
He seems to be kind of walking the line there.
He is.
So give him time. Hopefully,
right
as well. But yeah.
And I think it'll be good. I think it'll be comfortable. I think we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But also the state of West Virginia is in federal court. We saw this coming. We knew this was going to come. But the Department of Justice, the DOJ, is suing the state of West Virginia over their ban on athletes.
Yeah, the anti-trans athlete ban. Yeah. Or the trans athlete ban. Have we figured out exactly what to call that now?
Let's just call it bigotry in action.
There you go. So yeah, that's made it to court. Anyone surprised, please raise your hand. No one, not a single person. No. Okay, got it. Yeah, we called that one. I think everyone called that one. Like, I don't think they even managed to like pass that without going, yep, we're gonna have to go to court for that. Like, I don't think anyone like thought that was not gonna happen.
Right.
So, but yeah. But we'll see how that turns out.
Yes. And it will take a little bit.
Oh, yes. Meanwhile, West Virginia now has tax-free guns and ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about a weird news item.
Uh-huh.
Super weird news item. So basically fairly silently earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Quick before we move on. Shannon points out they thought defending it in court was a great way to spend taxpayer money. Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, no. So on the guns and ammo thing, apparently we have removed taxes for both the manufacture of guns and ammunition, small arms, and on the sale of small arms.
Right.
So you can now buy tax-free guns. You can make tax-free guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I just keep thinking, like, talk about living in the past. Like, I'm sure that was something that was popular back in the, like, Harper's Ferry Civil War days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that like we just finally get to it?
No.
It's been sitting on someone's desk for a while.
Exactly. It's the Republican House of Representatives and Senate we have in this state.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Yeah. A little ridiculous, I have to say.
absolutely. Hey, Direct Daddy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, other fun Pride news. Do we have any other fun Pride news, or was that the end of the list?
No.
It got late on us.
Yeah.
We had a plan. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, Microsoft and Cisco is trying something. What is this?
Well, not exactly. Microsoft CISO, why we're trying to banish passwords forever. So their Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, literally Microsoft is starting to work around the idea that passwords are the best security ever. Again, that falls in the category of anyone who ever thought that was a good idea, please raise your hand, because it's never worked. IT's hated passwords, password changes, password length requirements, password letter and character and symbol and number and whatever requirements. So what Microsoft is trying to do internally, as well as encouraging other companies to do, in addition to gearing their product line to, is sort of the passwordless environment. Now, that's not to say that you have no security. With that, we're looking at what they call a zero trust assumption,
Right.
which is for everything that you do, you assume this isn't like you don't know who this is.
Right.
And you're wanting to verify their login with someone or something else, such as a secondary verification code to your cell phone, to your whatever, to email, to somewhere else, to go, okay,
right,
like, this is the person who registered the account. They have access to the email or the phone or the device or the whatever, and they supplied the credentials that we were expecting.
Right.
So you're good to go.
Right.
Otherwise, not so much.
Right.
So Microsoft's looking to make that more part of the experience and move away from the password secured environment that isn't secure, that we've been living in for decades now. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that one. Speaking as someone who, well, and we both do, has lists and lists and lists of passwords. It's about time.
Yes.
We've been looking, and I think everyone's been looking forward to extending the biometrics, two-factor authentication, all of that, on down the line, so that even if you have a crap password,
right,
you still have good security, because that's what happens. Of course, we always want to suggest people use better passwords. Not that it helps a whole lot, but it does help. Still a pain in the butt, though.
Yeah.
And I think we're all ready to be done with it.
And I don't know. I love the LastPass. I thought I never would like something that I didn't know the password to my accounts.
I know, right?
I like it because I can just touch and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so apparently Microsoft Windows 11 has been leaked.
There are heavy-duty rumors on that one. So June 24th, we're going to find out at 11 a.m. What is coming from Microsoft. What's heavily rumored and what has actually dropped looks like a pre-release candidate of Windows 11.
Right.
But again, that's kind of up in the air a little bit. Microsoft had originally said that Windows 10 was going to be the last numbered release. It was just going to be updates from here on out. We got 10, and we're just going to stop there. So yeah, we'll see where that goes, because I think everyone's a little confused at this point.
Right.
One, it's a departure from what, again, Microsoft had said, And two, they're leaking it out in a way that builds a lot of anticipation. Anyone who spends a long time around Microsoft knows that every time they do a lot of anticipation, I have to return to every time they've done that, they've ended up dropping something stupid.
Right. Like 1.
Do what now?
Like Windows 8.
Well, I was going to go with Microsoft Ken. That horrible, god-awful cell phone they put on the market, sold like almost no phones, and eventually had to replace and then replace again. Like, they were so bad. They build them as a top-of-the-line social connected device, and yeah, they were an overglorified touchscreen feature phone, not a smartphone. Yeah. It like, if you want fun, go look at the experience that Microsoft Ken users had. It was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's KIN, not KEN like, Barbie's boyfriend, but KIN like people you're related to.
Right.
So yeah, which was the whole point, is it was supposed to be relative to the people you know. Again, it was one of the, like, Microsoft's done this a few times. They really get hyped up on making an announcement, and then when they make it, has a tendency to be totally not what people expected. And then what it is kind of either way too premature. Like, they got excited, they had an idea, they got it somewhat functional, and then they started announcing it.
Right.
Only it doesn't quite come to fruition.
Right.
Or it doesn't become the next thing that Microsoft thinks it'll be.
Right.
Like, I remember just a few years ago, it was all supposed to be about VR, virtual reality. We were all going to be donning headsets, as in, nice little goggles, that would show us a stereoscopic display that would be functioning in 3D. Yeah, sort of like those. Yeah, something like that. We were supposed to be living with something like that, jacked into our computer. Now, that one's specifically for a cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's specifically stereo vision for a cell phone.
Okay.
But yeah, we were supposed to be getting something a little bulkier than that. That was with 2 little controllers. That was going to let us operate the operating system of the future.
Right.
Yeah. It exists. No one's really gotten into it.
Right.
It's, again, it falls in the category of cool concept.
Right.
We're not ready.
Right.
Most people don't have the equipment to run it because it is graphics intensive.
Right.
And even those who do, it's not really mentally where they're at yet.
Right.
It's VR has been sitting in this kind of bubble of an idea for decades now.
Right.
Conceptually, it sounds brilliant.
Exactly.
Functionally, it's very resource intensive. It requires some very expensive equipment to operate on. And then the fruit of it isn't there. Video games aren't getting as heavily into it, and producing, games for it. There's not a lot of game support. Like, there's some. I'm not saying there's none. There's some. But it's just not where people are at. Like, we don't. Like, we fight enough with touchscreens trying to put in our PIN numbers to get into Windows.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be sitting here doing this with, a headset and, like, little paddles.
I want gloves. If I have to have something, I want gloves.
Oh, so you're more in line with the Game Boy VR.
Yeah.
Or
Power
Arm. That wasn't what it was called. It was something along that line. So, yeah.
So yeah.
Virtual Boy. That's it.
Exactly.
That's the Nintendo version of the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know where my head just went.
Well, I need to dust my office.
Do what now?
I need to dust my office. I pick those things up because for me, they're just part of the decor.
I know. I can't bring myself to throw them away. They are actually nice, but I don't even think they would fit this phone, let alone yours.
Right.
You know, it was a good idea, but again, it kind of hit there, and it's a very generic implementation. That's a non-digital solution.
Right.
You literally pull out a little caddy for your phone to set in, and slide it back in, and then it divides the screen in half.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the greatest experience.
Right. But it is an experience.
It is. It is an experience. It's an experience. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, can you run me though? Because apparently the assistant is not being the assistant tonight.
Sure thing. Let me drop out.
Okay. So, guys, it looks like Jupiter is going into retrograde. I hope everyone's ready for that one because Lord knows Mercury's been real interesting in what we're doing. So serious changes are ahead. The lucky planet in the sky, moving backwards in the outer dances, aka Jupiter in retrograde, goes into effect tomorrow, the same day as summer solstice. Jupiter will bring its 4 months retrograde all the way to the dreamy signs of Pisces and dipping into intelligent Aquarius on the 28th until it turns direct on October 18th. It brings a lot of expansion, a lot of growth. It brings a lot of building and changing. And you got to kind of watch yourself because you got to watch your wallet when Jupiter is in retrograde because you may want to spend more than you're used to. Business-wise, it will expand the business out of control. Anything that's got a multiplying effect to it.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh.
Welcome back. Thank you, dear.
Oh, very welcome. Very welcome. Sorry you don't have your own.
That's fine. Cigarette.
There you go.
But yeah. How does that affect Sagittarians? Oh, well, let's go see.
Oh, I find it funny anyone said, sorry, I'm joining late this evening. Like, we take the cake on that one.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I went and done a dog rescue. We now have a lovely little lady living with us.
We do. She's very sweet.
Yes. Give me a second to look a little deeper into this one.
Excuse me.
Okay. So with Sagittarians, you're going to be very judgy. You're going to be very hard on yourself, and you got to watch that. Looking at it, it could also be affecting your communication, and tempers may be shorter.
Ooh. And I believe that I heard that as Jupiter in retrograde.
Yes, Jupiter is going into retrograde.
Is Mercury coming out yet?
Mercury's on its way out of being in retrograde.
Got a couple more days.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, finally. So, yeah. Well, anything else going into retrograde or, that we need to be on the lookout for? Like, do we have another, weirdo moon or something?
No, we're doing pretty well. We got summer solstice coming up, which is the height and the power of the sun. It's also the longest day of the year. And, it's. Already handled. Thank you. All right. There's all the lovely affirmations or things to remember.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm flipping through the astrology information here, and it's like every sign has an affirmation. But Pisces and Aquarians, you need to lock your wallet into the freezer.
Oh dear, horrible time to spend for them, or they're going to be feeling compelled to go spend money.
Feeling compelled to spend more than what they need.
Yep, nope, lock it up, shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Or take advantage of your bank if they have a freeze function.
Mm-hmm.
Now's a good time to use it. Freeze your card, one way or another.
Yep. But Pisces and Aquarians have an issue, and that means also the reflective side of that, which would be the Aries. Well, no. The reflective side would be the Saggies and the Scorpios rolling in the dough, but short-tempered.
Ooh.
Leos looks to be worrying about if they're going to have enough money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything I got to watch out for as a Cancer?
Pissing off your Aries husband.
Well, I'm doomed. If you'd like to make a memorial contribution.
No, I think that things will be fine. We get these once a year.
Well, there you go.
It isn't anything major.
I know, but doesn't it seem like this year everything's been more intense?
Yes.
Like, what's that about?
It's the 2021 energy. I talked about it in my yearly predictions that it was going to be very, very intense.
Okay. Sorry, I was going to say I'm getting that part. I'm just trying to figure out, what is making everything more intense?
One, we're moving closer to the center of the universe. We'll be doing that for the next 27 years. So that means energy in itself is more intense. Then we have a lot of planetary retrogrades are taking more focus. We're feeling them more. But also this 5 year is very much a animum up or animum out, where 4 year is kind of a relaxed year. 5 is very much like go or no go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I had to do the numerology in my head real quick because I was like, wait, no, it's not divisible by 5. Wrong answer. Total's 5. 2 plus 2 plus 1.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I have slow moments. I've sat through your astrology class or a numerology class. You would think I would do better with this, but I'm still slow at it.
Yep. But no, it's definitely a 5 year energy. But we've got so much massive changes occurring too.
We do. We've come off of a really rough year. This year's been awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I can follow that one.
Yeah. And it gets difficult and it gets tiring, and we just got to move through it. Next year we will be better. It'll be a 6 year. It gets a little more calmer. 9. We went 9 years and 1 year. So 1 year focused on self. 9 focused on generational changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very awesome.
Yep. Okay, guys. I know this is kind of a short show, one of our shorter ones. But does anyone have any questions? Anything you guys want us to talk about?
Hot takes. Horrible things in the news we missed.
Yes. Positive things we missed.
I will say, because I got excited the other day, The Onion is actually funny again.
It is.
It is finally back to being weirder than reality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad for that. I don't know if anyone else was missing the onion as much as I was, but there was a long period there.
Right.
I'm really missing the onion.
It was. And was a well, have you noticed we have to hunt for news on the president?
You know, but though I did see today, apparently Putin was very praising of Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fun moment.
Well, you know why he's praising of Biden.
Yeah, basically because his butt's in trouble, and the words Russian hackers keeps popping up in our news feed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
Like I see a lot of CYOA, but still,
Right.
It's going better than one would have expected.
Oh, I don't know, because Biden bit into one of them.
Yes, Shannon, I did see that. Did you see that one?
I saw the one about the judge telling the workers they have no grounds. I could have told them and saved the money of this. We fought this over the flu shot when it first came out. Nurses are required to keep their license to take a flu shot.
Or more importantly, your employer can force you.
Yes.
If you want to keep the job.
Right.
I understand the struggle there. I do, but at the same time, because I'm not very pro-employer. I'll just say that and move on with my life.
Right.
I'm not. I personally feel like there is, and has been well demonstrated, employers have too much control over their employees in the U.S. This is basically a fact. And this is one more level in which that's being exerted. However, this is one in which there is a very, demonstrable case, a compelling interest,
right,
for the employer to do that. This is not like, some of the weirdo things, such as, if you're a non-smoker, you get reduced premiums on your health insurance kind of crap.
Well, actually, there's an employer that's very popular that's actually in trouble.
Ooh.
And I said we'd talk about it. Okay, Dave Ramsey, everyone knows the financial guru, is being sued.
What did he do?
Well, apparently he fired a pregnant woman.
Ooh.
Because she wasn't married.
Happy Midnight Mary. I'm sorry, he fired a woman for being pregnant and unwed. What century is this again?
Last time I checked, it was 22nd century.
Well, 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be in the 22nd century, but I need you to come home sometime in the next 100 years.
I'll work on it. So apparently this worker got pregnant, applied for health care for her unborn child. And Dave Ramsey, instead of going, oh, okay.
Congratulations on your pregnancy. Hope everything goes well.
Yep. He said, you're fired.
Okay. Did he claim this as a morality thing? Where did he go with that?
Well, they have what's called the Righteous Living Core Values policy. Yeah.
I'm already disliking those words right there.
Yeah.
So refresh my memory. So Dave Ramsey does he technically run a church?
He technically does run multiple organizations. Okay. However, the problem with Dave Ramsey has put everything into non-profitable churches, even though he's profitable.
Yeah, I gotta love abusing religion to like treat people like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry, that was a horrible cough.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Right. But according to Dave Ramsey, one of the core values of the Ramsey Solutions is righteous living, which means that character matters all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's going to be a messy, ugly lawsuit.
Oh, I think it'll be a very interesting lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because this may really change our employment laws.
Well, and I think if there's also the reality that given the setup of his corporations
Mm-hmm.
or functionally churches,
Right.
he's fundamentally paving a way for some really bad business practices.
Yeah.
As in, like, this falls in that category of people, I don't know how they get away with it.
Right.
Like, I just keep waiting for someone to come in and be like, nah.
Right.
Like, where's the IRS audit from hell?
Well,
like, you're not a church. You're not a church.
Where's the religious rights?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the, I can't work for Dave Ramsey because, I don't know, I'm pagan. I can't work for Dave Ramsey because I'm gay. I can't work for Dave Ramsey because premarital sex. Well, guess what? I ain't been married in almost 40 years and I ain't doing it to a woman. So, these are all things that are in this core value thing, which makes me question if he's following federal laws, according to Mary. Here comes the federal lawsuit. It's already filed, darling.
Well, but the fundamental problem comes in is that technically there are exemptions for churches. Uh-huh. Now, this is more so considered, like First Baptist Church has a secretary who's unwed and gets pregnant.
Right.
Okay. This would be an exception if their religious doctrine is such that, they would fire her for that, then that can be acceptable. You can have these, granted, horrific, but religiously applicable requirements. It makes them a crappy employer, but at the same time, it is legal.
Right.
That's what they've found over time. This is why, gay and lesbian teachers or trans teachers at Catholic schools tend to find themselves without a job.
Right.
Because functionally it is a religious organization and they can they do have an exemption for that. I think the bigger question is going to be, can you really claim that this is the proper setup for Dave Ramsey to be under?
Right.
I think that's where the argument has to start and end, is that it has less to do with whether what he did was legal, more than if fundamentally the whole setup is an end run around equal opportunity employment.
Exactly. And they're comparing this to cult-like behavior.
Well, but we run into the same thing with like Liberty University, with basically any religious school that will, throw out students for everything from, drinking, premarital sex, just simple situations in which someone is, people of the opposite sex are in the same room unsupervised.
Right.
That it gives the appearance of impropriety. But yeah.
So it'll be interesting if he can stand up in court.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be the interesting part.
Right.
is because to me this sounds like yet another organization that's trying to shelter itself as a religion that isn't.
Right.
Not functionally, not what anyone ever intended by a religious organization.
Right.
And quite frankly, if this stands, I don't know why everyone doesn't go out and get their religious organization, whatever that is, 503, I believe it is, status.
Yeah.
And just go, yeah, I'm a religious organization. I can do whatever I want to and not pay taxes and, screw everyone else.
Right.
Because quite frankly, none of this sounds like a religious organization.
Right.
I like, yeah.
Right. I'm trying to find the policy. Because it's a publicly traded company, there should be it should have to be published.
Well, something tells me Shannon's going, Mary points out 503C1. I couldn't figure out remember the rest. I knew it was 503.
Yep.
But righteous living values is effectively another way of saying a moralities clause.
Right.
Which, hell, the last company I worked for technically had one. And again, those are usually written very vaguely. Typically, what they're intended for in most companies, more, is if you are involved in some horrific media scandal, like you are picked up for prostitution or soliciting a prostitute, if you are, caught in a pedophilia sting, if you are whatever, that would bring negative attention to the company that you work for.
Right.
The employer can be like, no, sorry, no, not happening.
Right.
That's still not it here, but it is a very outdated version of what those words used to be.
Right.
That you could be fired for being gay, you could be fired for, any number of things that were considered a morality or a lack thereof problem. Everything from premarital sex to, living with someone without being married to them, being married to someone of a different race. These were all seen as morality problems.
Right. And here's the thing. He should be escorted off the radios.
Okay.
Point blank, escorted off, took off.
One can hope, but then again, you know how much anymore radio and television does like their controversial figures, so long as they're not drawing a lot of negative attention. So it may work out that way that he gets, walked off air. Like, no, too far, dude, too far.
Yeah. I mean, because we've seen this with CBS. They've took off controversial people. Sirius needs to really look at this and see what they can do with it, because Sirius is famous for removing radio hosts that do not stand up for values of human decency.
Yeah. Well, general human rights. And no, I like Mary's comment or a little bit earlier, is that are you pro-life or not?
Right.
Because that's where this comes down to, is you've taken someone who is employed, unmarried, and pregnant, effectively denied them insurance coverage for the birth of a child, in addition to removing their source of income and support. How do you think that plays out with your good Christian values? Because now you have someone who is probably borderlining being out on the street, pregnant, and potentially bringing a child into the world in that situation. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So, yeah, that really does bring up the question, are you pro-life or pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would think as someone going through that, it would be a real struggle.
Right.
To think right now that pro-life is the best answer, because what kind of life, now that you're unemployed, are you bringing this child into?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's just the whole normal thing.
Oh, is this psychodrama lawsuit in West Virginia or elsewhere?
Tennessee.
Oh.
Tennessee. So, but he will have to go. It's a federal suit, so it'll be in federal court, and it could quickly go through EOC all the way up to Supreme Court. And it'll really show us, okay, fine, I can incorporate as a 501c, not a problem. Drop that in there. Then I get to really be picky about who I employ.
Yeah. Absolutely. But no, I don't know. It's a ridiculous thing that anyone still running a business thinks they should be doing. Especially if you're going to sit there and try to simultaneously claim a moral high ground. Because even if you're sitting there with a, words that we are all tired of by now, a sincerely held religious belief, there is not a single person on the planet that can think this is going to lead to anything good for this woman. Technically it may. She may garner a lot of attention,
right?
For the horrendousness of this action, from a much better place to work for.
Right.
At the same time, a lot of this is meant, and especially when used in this way, basically as a behavior modification. Like this stuff employers used to pull on women 50, 60 years ago, with the presumption that a working woman was just working till she found a husband, and that she just needed to get her priorities straight.
Right.
But at the same time, this is the same kind of actions that also contributed to a large number of women living in domestic violence situations, because you're an unwed mother problem.
Right.
Like if he doesn't pony up and marry you, then you and your child are going to go through life in a very ugly situation. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm sorry, this is bigger than Susie Orman's mistake.
Very much so.
Right. And it will be very much in the news. We will be following this along. Now, one of the suits we did follow has settled. The Cristobal versus Toddy Westbrook lawsuit has settled. And it's been found out that it's her business partner that was making up the allegations and fueling the fires.
Oh, God. Okay, so walk us all through the broad, the broad strokes.
Okay, broad strokes of this is Toddy Westbrook formed a company called Halo Beauty. Halo Beauty produces beauty products and vitamins and minerals for people to get, kind of like a subscription thing. So she took on a business partner to help with the formulation of the vitamins. He also does a lot of male extension products. She wasn't in for that. She didn't want to be a part of that, so he formed a second company for that. He, however, made a lot of bad moves, like forgetting to pay payroll. So they redivided the company so that he didn't have to put more money in, make it 33%. He then starts releasing stuff to a drama channel without a crystal ball. That's the reason I moved my crystal ball down, so I can say, see, I have a crystal ball over this. But it came to light that she was literally producing a video almost every day. There was like 88 videos directly targeting Toddy Westbrook and Halo Beauty with information that only the business partner would have known. They sue in Washington. Washington says, nope, you don't belong here. Take your stuff down to Minnesota where Cristobal lives. They enter negotiations, and Cristobal ponies up her source of the information to get from the $2 million lawsuit for harassment and defamation of character.
Oh, so where does that leave the situation? So they now know who.
Yes.
And, you know, how all this came about and what information, and that's confirmed. So walking
now
away.
I'm waiting to see what happens in the Toddy Westbrook, Halo Beauty, Swanson lawsuit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he was trying to claim that they were injuring the company and bankrupting it. However, it's been proven that he's the one doing it.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, fun.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
That's been rocking. And then it recently was, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I really just need to turn the camera on and make the video. And put it up there so I can at least go, see, I told you so. One of the YouTube drama channels that I didn't like her at all, didn't like her opinions, has been recently shown that she's not really a social justice warrior. She's more so a bigot, clothed in social justice warrior clothes.
Okay.
She was producing videos, but she was also on this board called Locale. That's an anonymous board, and she was making comments that were the exact opposite of what she was trying to present to the internet.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Locale got tired of her doing that. So they released her IP address and said, oh, no, this is Creepshow Art that does this. Here's all this. Enjoy. And basically everyone's now going, oh, shit. And then they're going, oh, she's been stalking people. It's been a shit show and a half, y'all.
Ooh. Well, that sounds like fun and interesting one to follow up.
Well, I think she's gone from the internet. Like, she has deleted her channel. She's deleted her Instagram. She's deleted her Twitter. I think she's just gone.
Yeah, at least, you know, in that form.
Right.
But that's kind of the other thing is we see a lot of people try the so to speak, the comeback. Like new branding, new whatever, and eventually, you know, get a haircut, change the hair color, get some glasses, like show back up, do something else entirely, and try to, like, you know, start over.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh.
But no, it's been highly interesting watching this play. I'm learning a lot. I am going to be inviting Emily Baker on to the Psychic Coffee Shop because I want to. She made a comment in a video, and I want to get the details on this one.
Okay.
But you can't sue a psychic.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a lot of like asterisks.
Yeah.
After that one, like, and I want to know what the asterisks are. Like, what all does that require? Because I would think there are some situations that, yeah, you probably could, but I would think you would have to really mismanage your business, skip all the like disclaimers you're supposed to give, enter into a bunch of territory of conversation you really shouldn't, and then
but it'll be interesting. I'm going to put out an invite for her and see where she's at and if she's willing to come on and talk about this stuff. Guys, it's been a long day. I've put 400 miles on the car today.
Yes.
and we're late, and we really thank you guys for joining us. And remember, comment below give us name suggestions for our new Australian Shepherd.
Yes. Yeah, if you're watching this later, still post. Let us know. Give us ideas.
Yes. Crew, we really enjoy you guys. Thank you guys for staying with us and coming in and watching afterwards. Baristas, thank you for being so patient today. All right, Joe, take it away.
All right, so of course we love our baristas, and we do want to thank them for our support. Baristas are what we call our Patreon supporters. We want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Gist, Shannon C, and Shannon D. If you'd like to support the show or learn more about us, please visit pcspnetwork.com.
Yep, and we will see you on Tuesday. Be looking for a vlog because we are going to Witches and Salsa and then a masquerade ball. So that'll be fun. And look for puppy pictures as we get her settled in.
Yes. Hopefully we'll have a nice little sister brother with Vlad and
yes,
to be named puppy.
Yes. We'll call her Little Lady for now.
The Little Lady.
Yes. All right, y'all. You guys have an amazing night. Thank you for coming in and watching us late. And if you're part of the replay crew, thank you. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. On time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now.